What's up, YouTube Combat here, and today I want to talk about this big update that's hitting Call of Duty World War II today. And really, this isn't just an update, it's like a refinement or a revamping of this game. And this is something that this game needed a lot. It needed something to bring the player base back, and it needed to finally incorporate some of this consumer feedback that we've been giving Sledgehammer since the beta. And it's nice to see that they took a lot of our considerations and a lot of our feedback into this update. And it shows with the amount of feedback and positive feedback at that the community is giving Sledgehammer for this. There's a lot of praise here because this is probably the biggest update in Call of Duty history. This is like them changing the pick 10 system to be completely different, like changing where perks are in a perk selection system. Like it's crazy. This thing's huge, and it's nice to see that they were willing to change such a big part of this game, especially in the divisions. So let's go through it. All the patch notes here from for today's video are all from charlieintel.com. I'm gonna link the article down below in the description, and please have a look for yourself, as I'm not gonna go over everything, but I do want to go over some of the main and primary points of this. So let's start first and foremost with the divisions. Everything's been revamped except for the fact that you still unlock things, and there's 4 levels for every division. So let's start off with infantry. So infantry, you get an additional primary attachment as your first unlock. So right away, out of the gate, as soon as you pick infantry, you get an additional primary attachment instead of getting a bayonet. Number 2, you get a second pistol attachment, and you get to swap your weapons faster. While aiming down sights, you have less idle sway, which I like, and you move faster while aiming, which I believe was already in the infantry class before. With airborne, the first unlock, so right away, is you can fire your guns while sprinting and diving. Really like that idea. I don't use it a ton, but not a bad first unlock. Number 2, reload while sprinting. Number 3, climb over obstacles faster and no damage while falling. This is so big when you have somebody who rushes, like myself, especially in a game mode like Search and Destroy. Being able to take no fall damage is so important, and really like this. And the number 4 is sprint faster over time. Because of the new mechanic of adding unlimited sprint into the game, this is very key for players. People who have unlocked airborne fully, they'll be able to run faster. I like this idea. It does give a distinct edge to the players that are running airborne. It gives you a reason to run an airborne class, especially for playing Search and Destroy, where you can get those long bomb runs a little bit better, and I'm all for it personally, because I like to run airborne with my Search and Destroy. With armored, first unlock, you take significantly less damage from explosive and fire. This needed to be in the game from day one. Instead of this being the number 4 unlock, this is the number 1 unlock, and that is a big reason to use armored. It makes people that use airborne or infantry with hunker a lot less common, because that would be what I ran, and it's very boring. So now I get to incorporate armored, get to use some of the other basic trainings, which I very much like. The fact that I can use varied classes now and be able to use something like armored, because I didn't actually have level 4 unlocked because I decided to prestige my division. So number 2, immune to shell shock and tactical equipment. Yes, love it. Increase bullet penetration through surfaces. Once again, love it. And greatly reduce flinch when shot. Also love it. This is a very, very, very viable division now. Not to say it wasn't before, but at level 1, all you got was a bipod for the LMG, and it's like, well, I don't even use LMGs, so why should I be tied to it? And I love the fact that it's almost like they've taken it out, that it's specific for each weapon. They're now saying that it's just incorporating everything. So it's incorporating your character, not associated specifically for a weapon. I really like that. And as you'll see from Mountain, they've taken something out that makes it just for snipers, which is very nice. So instead of infantry, only additional primary with assault rifles, airborne, silencers out, armored, the bipods out, and with Mountain, sharpshooters gone. Instead, you have invisible to enemy recon and controlled streaks from out the gate. So this is actually kind of powerful when you think about it, but I think it's going to work out well. I think that the other 3 divisions right now are very balanced, and I think having this will have some balance to it as well. Killed enemy death locations hidden. I don't use this a ton in games, so I don't really care that much about the number 2 unlock. Number 3, no name or reticle change when enemy aims at you. Like that. Wondering if the auto aim still takes effect with this on as well. And number 4, the silent movement, which is very key, especially in game modes like Search and Destroy. Now moving on to the Expeditionary class. Instead of fire shells, you get double lethal and tactical and enhanced equipment use, so I'm guessing you get to throw things further. Love the idea, think it's great. It will be a lot more fun to use. Munitions replenished from killed enemies and over time. Love the idea. It makes this class a lot more fun, I think, which is what Expeditionary is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a fun, goof around class. Love it. Improved tacticals and easier to destroy war buildables. That's good. For people who play a ton of war, it makes Expeditionary very viable. Equipment damage paints enemy on minimap, so kind of like what was that? Was it Recon? Back in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, I think it was called Recon, or somebody will let me know, but I thought it was Recon that just you could throw like a flash, and if it hit somebody, it would show you where they were on your map. Okay, now Resistance. Minimap indicator and scrambler of close hostiles, so I think that's the same as it is now. Enemy movements are easier to hear, so Sitrep Pro essentially kills and assists grant intel ping of nearby enemies. I'm wondering how that's going to be used. That's very interesting. And easier to spot targets and increase minimap coverage. So I guess that's fine. I still feel that Resistance is a little bit weaker than the original 5. And obviously we know that Grenader's coming in. So I haven't read up a ton on Grenader, but I think Resistance is pretty solid. I'm not going to use it a ton, but I think it's an improvement. And hopefully it can be balanced against the other 5 divisions that definitely got a lot better. So, like I said earlier, unlimited sprint for all players, and a 4th perk option, and more. So, loadout changes, like I said earlier, LMG bipod, sniper sharpshooter are automatically available when using LMG and sniper. That is so much better than having to have mountain to be able to sharpshoot. So much better. Remaining division skills, weapon class attachments are selectable in create a class, and no longer given by division, so I'm assuming that's silencers, essentially. Each division has a 4th perk, and their levels have been adjusted and rebalanced. All players have a limited sprint, and sprint speed is slightly slower. So what they did essentially is, I think it was like 1.4 times regular speed, and now it's 1.3. So it's not a huge, decrease, I guess. 3 primary attachments for all loadouts. I like that just fine. I think that's great. 1 piece of both lethal and tactical equipment for all loadouts. What they needed from day 1. Launchers can be equipped from all loadouts. Like that from day 1. Rifle grenade is now available for attachments, so we all know what that is, the noob tube. The suppressor is now available, yes. Of course, it should have been from day 1. The following basic trainings are cut and no longer selectable. Primed and bang, which primed essentially gave you an additional slot and reduced your flinch. They heavily nerfed that earlier on in the game because it was too used, too widespread. And I'm glad they did that. Now it's completely gone. Absolutely love that. Bang was, I believe, the basic training for the launcher. That's gone. Love that. Prestige tokens spent on these are refunded, and associated challenges are auto-completed. I'm okay with that. The following basic trainings are newly added: Blitzkrieg and Clandestine. So, Blitzkrieg, streaks are earned by kills instead of score. What? Oh my, I totally grazed over this the first time. Streaks are improved and select a 4th streak. Holy crap! That's awesome! Okay, yeah, I'm playing TDM with Blitzkrieg the whole time. That is sick. Who's not going to run that in TDM? That's awesome. Okay, Clandestine. Slain enemies drop intel packs that reveal nearby hostiles. Oh, that's neat. Oh, that's kind of cool. Intel ping at start of each life. Oh, that's nice. That's nice to see. Okay. Resistance and infantry shifts. Move second pistol attachment and swap weapons faster to infantry to align with its marksmanship focused. Filled gap in resistance with enemies. Enemy movements are easier to hear. So that was one of the biggest changes. And then weapon and mechanic tuning changes. Global sprint speed reduced from 1.4 times your normal speed to 1.3, like I said earlier. Reduced launcher effectiveness against players Panzer Shrek, nerf damage and projectile speed. Bazooka, buffed radius, buffed projectile speed, and nerf damage. Bazooka should be more reliably give hit markers than before, and increased projectile speed should make it better than the Panzer against streaks. Frag and sticky grenades, max damage nerf, so about 10 times less damage, or 10% less damage than before. Shell shock and earthquake effects from lethal equipment significantly reduced. Thank you. Reduced effect radius and duration to address existing complaints and account for all players having both lethal and tactical. Tactical equipment strength adjusted. All tacticals without Expeditionary 3 got a small nerf. Smokes last 10 seconds, previously 14. With Expeditionary, they're going to be 14 seconds. Signal flare lasts 3.5, previously 5 seconds. 5.5 if you have Expeditionary 3. Stun effects, 1.75 to 3.5, obviously depending on your distance away. Previously 2 to 4 seconds, and with Expeditionary 3, 2.5 to 4.25 seconds. I don't want to go through everything here, just going to kind of go through the black bold points here. The following basic trainings have their benefits changed. Energetic adds increased sprint speed, removes sprint again sooner. Forage adds resupply bullets over time, adds extra magazines, removes swap weapons faster. Man, they're doing everything we need. This is great. I'm really liking this update. Ordnance adds killed enemies, drop streak packs that fill your meter. So extra points. That's kind of cool. Removes re-roll your own care packages. That's fine. Launched adds additional launcher ammunition instead of removes only way to take a launcher. Okay, so that was launch. What was the other basic training that got removed then? Oh, doesn't matter. Concussed adds 2 pieces of lethal and tactical equipment. Removes presetting what the equipment is. Instincts adds immunes to shell shock and tactical equipment. Esports only changed to remove warning when targeted off screen. Oh, okay, this is nice. I like this. Incendiary shells attachment buff. So this is now going to be an attachment for all shotguns instead of it being a division benefit. Gives additional shells. That range reduction. Okay, 15% range reduction. I like it. Sped up loading of shells for combat shotgun. As long as it doesn't make it too overpowered and too widely used, I'm okay with it. They buffed the bipod. The duration of sharpshooter was buffed. They buffed 80% reduction for fire and explosive damage. Was originally 65%. So that's huge for the armored division. Buffed move faster while aiming. Oh, thank God. So it's basically going to be like Stalker Pro. You're going to move a lot faster while aiming. Snipers get smaller buff than other weapon classes. Oh, by the way, the move faster while aiming is both for infantry, for and for scoped, the basic training. And let's just see here, and that's it, mostly. Like I said, the full patch notes will be linked below in the description. I have some opinions now. Hopefully that wasn't too much information to just throw at you guys, but let's talk about this, because I think this is very important to say. This is the right move by Activision, by Sledgehammer, and by everybody controlling Call of Duty World War II. I'm not sure how long this was in the works for. I hope it's been a while, but part of me feels like once Glenn Schofield and Michael Condrey were removed from, well, not removed, but promoted to Activision, they might have been more focused on making this a user-friendly game, because from a lot of the feedback I saw on Twitter from Michael Condrey was he was almost in denial of his own game and didn't want to accept constructive criticism from the community. And when you're somebody who's the figurehead for a company, you should be able to take that constructive criticism and be able to apply it to your game. But I never felt that he did that. And I feel like this is almost like a love letter to this game and saying, fans, we're listening to you. This is what you want. And I think it's going to be great. I'm intrigued to see how it works in game battles and in esports. And I want to know how much more this is going to affect it, because honestly it was kind of boring with those game modes, with those competitive game modes, because it was very cut and paste, dry, like very simple. Everybody basically ran the same classes, and now it looks like there's some variety. There's some reasons to run all the different divisions, whereas before you basically ran infantry or airborne. Or if you wanted that one guy with armored, but you had a useless, for a lot of these classes, you had a useless division slot because you didn't use your silencer, you barely use your bayonet, or you didn't use your LMG bipod because you weren't even using an LMG in that class. So by doing this, you're essentially allowing effective slots to be used for across all guns and make that division not so gun focused and more into playstyle focused, which I really like. The airborne division is more for the rusher, somebody like me, you know, that runs and guns. Infantry, more for the tactical player that likes to move around tactically, likes to get the advantage on their opponent. The armored class, somebody who likes to hold down an area and really likes to just pepper people with bullets. Doesn't necessarily need to be an LMG, can be an effective assault rifle player. Mountains, somebody that likes to be sneaky and move around the map mysteriously. Love it. And it's just these little additions to the game. And then Expeditionary, the fun let's goof around class that I actually think has some viability to it, especially in a game mode like Search and Destroy, where having extra and more powerful both tactical and regular grenades are going to be huge. So overall, this is what World War II needed, and I'm very glad the developers gave it to us. It makes me interested in getting back on the game, playing it, putting hours into it, and not just focusing so much on Fortnite. And maybe this was their answer to the popularity of Fortnite and saying, we need to do something to get our player base back. So overall, I'm very happy with this update. I am very glad that they decided to do this, and I think I've said that a few times, so I think you guys get the picture. So I want to know down below in the description, or down below in the comment section, what you guys think about this update, what you guys are most excited for. And guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, can you please hit that like button? If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, please let me know how you found it and what made you click on the video. Thanks guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.